is there a teacher at SCPA, academic or in the arts, and it could be multiple, right? That really pushed you or challenged you or inspired you in any way?
All of my art teachers, because they all challenged me to put more thoughts into my creation, design, and encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone to take the greater challenge in the arts. An academic teacher, I'm gonna say my chemistry teacher, Mr. Norman. Now, this was especially when I took AP Chem. He taught me greater challenges lead to greater rewards.
Mm.
He also taught me to not give up easily and that there will always be mistakes that I can later fix. He also taught me that there was no pain, no gain.
That sounds like Mr. Norman. He's
Mhm.
always full of those lovely nuggets of knowledge that he's imparting upon everybody.
Like, didn't have him, but like Brian Seekman, Mr. Seekman was like my ultimate like favorite teacher. And the way that he was just so real and like down to business, but also just like so personable and stuff, like really just like I was like, I want to be like him when I grow up. Like he's just so chill and like always just like lifted other people up. So Mr. Seekman and Mr. Crowley too. Like Mr. Crowley was the first person that made me like really, really, truly believe in myself like as an actor. I'd always been comfortable as a singer, but like Mr. Crowley truly like transformed my perception of myself as an artist, as well as Mr. Jones. And also, I forgot to mention, but probably the biggest person who inspired me was Lori Wyatt, and like I continued to work with her outside of SCPA. But I think that's everyone who like who's went to SCPA and like came in contact with Lori Wyatt, who is like she is the ultimate like
Hmm.
teacher and person, just like the most amazing as well.
I had Mr. Crowley, Kevin Crowley. He's my drama teacher that I had when I first attended SCPA, and then I had him my 8th grade year, and I believe my sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. And then I had him basically every year because I almost every year besides my freshman year, and then junior and senior year I had him as my drama ensemble teacher. So having him, he's been a very big inspiration to me and someone who has definitely pushed me and has believed in me and seen my art and seen my craft and seen me act and has seen something inside me that and sometimes I didn't see in myself. So in seeing him even act, he's a great actor himself and a great teacher in my opinion. And seeing him really be hands-on with not only myself but with others has been a really great help to help me build as an actor and to grow to where I am today and right now. So I give a very huge thank you and a huge honor to him, as well as my other drama teacher, who I got the privilege of meeting my junior year and kind of forming somewhat of a relationship with him my junior year, because I would always bug him and bother him because it was Mr. Jones, James Jones, and we have my last names is Jones, and we have the same last name. So I would bug him and be like, "Hey, Uncle Cousin Brother," just for that because we have the same last name. He's been great. He's really amazing. He's a great teacher, a great person, and someone who I definitely, and the second person who's really helped me a lot as far as my acting career. And even my senior year, I dealt with depression earlier in the year. So, and even with that, he's helped me push and helped me to keep going, to still have that passion and that drive that I had when I first attended SCPA as far as acting and the arts. Because during that, it was very hard for me, but also having him there to understand and help me through it has been uh, has been a blessing in my eyes, and he's been a huge blessing in my life. And I've gone through so many experiences and shared so many things with him because he's been able to be um, a mentor, not only just a teacher, but a mentor and someone who you can really talk to and depend on, and who's really going to give it to you for real. And he's not playing, he's not joking. He's going to be honest. He's going to say what it is and what it's not, and but he's going to help you through it.
I think that there are two teachers in my brain that kind of stick out, especially from like a writer's perspective, how much it helped me. So first is Miss Morgan,
Mm.
who she taught me AP Lang, so AP English language, and Dr. Starr, who is my creative writing teacher. So I say Miss Morgan because she taught me language and composition. So it was it's like a lot of rhetorical analysis and just learning about the structure of writing and how things are put together and how writers use their words and their argumentative styles to write, to like create stories and write speeches and write the back of cereal boxes and like all of that kind of stuff. And I think taking her class and having her as my teacher, she really kind of shifted how I read and how I write, because now when I'm reading, so I'm reading this book right now by Zadie Smith, and it's like a bunch of short little essays. And when I'm reading it, I'm not anymore, or I'm not like just reading something through all the way. You know what I mean? When I'm reading, I'm breaking down like how it's structured and how it was written. And it almost makes me appreciate it a lot more because I can understand the art of putting together a piece of work. So I learned a lot about that from Miss Morgan, and it helped me in my own writing too. And then Dr. Saar was my creative writing teacher from 8th grade to senior year, or 9th grade to senior year. I can't remember. But she is like by far one of the most influential people I've ever met. She was so meticulous about everything, and it made my writing so much better, like my work just so much better. And I don't know, like she was just so smart. She's just so smart. And like everything that she said, I would just like was like, whoa, like everything that she would say about writing, it would just change my perspective about how I was writing something. And it was just so crazy how influential somebody can be, even in just like one piece of writing. Just like how much they can change your perspective on how you think about your own piece. It's like you think that you know your writing so well when you write it, and then somebody else comes along and gives another perspective or asks you a question, and it's like, I had never really thought of that. And Dr. Saar was definitely that person who she was digging in your piece and asking about the research that you did. Like, where did this come from? Where did this come from? Like, and it just like made me such a better writer because of how much better I got at paying attention to detail. And like everything that I'm doing in my writing, it matters. And like the research I do matters. And it just like has helped me structure my writing so much different and so much better. So I think both of them definitely aided me in making it so good.
So I will give him credit, but if he ever brings this up, I'm going to deny it because that's the relationship we have. But Mr. Goodlet, he always, he really challenged me, and he was always there for me. Like if I was ever feeling a little bit down, because it can be kind of hard in the arts. If something doesn't go your way, you start to like doubt yourself. But he would always be there to remind me like everyone has something special, and he would give me advice, and he opened me up to a lot of different opportunities. Like he's the reason I was in The Wiz. He casted me as a dancer, and that was my first major musical at SCPA, and that made me like really realize like I would like to be in musicals later in life too. So he just really always gave me advice and helped me like figure out what I want to do with my future.
I have Miss Simon, who's the little kids dance teacher, and I have my private vocal lesson teacher, Mr. Chapman. Miss Simon pushed me because she's so warm. She always gives that energy of like, I just love all these kids. And she always was like, you should be dancing, but you should also be singing, because she heard me saying, I feel like you really know you can sing when a dance teacher is gonna let you sing in her class. So yeah, and she was just like, she's just always had so much support for me. And you need that. You definitely need that in the arts. So she's just helped me, and I don't know, she's just so warm. And then Mr. Chapman, I love that man to death. I mean, seriously, there is no one I could be more grateful for to help me learn how to sing and how to sing right. But starting out with him, I mean, I was terrible. Like, because I already knew how to sing. Like, I sounded good. So I was like, I don't need him telling me how to sing, what I need to sing. Like, I don't do this. And so he was giving me like these opera songs. I'm like, what is this? I don't sing this. I'm not doing this. Me and him got into arguments. I would scream. I would cry. Like, it was terrible. And I would hide from him. I wouldn't go to my lessons. Oh, yeah. Until I realized that if I start listening to him, I'm going to start doing better. And he helped me so much. And eventually, when I started doing Rizzo, when I started doing Dorothy was hard for me. But I listened to him, and I mean, that man has helped me through thick and thin. I couldn't be more grateful for him. So yeah.